that thinks Twitch streaming is a job. And I want the audience to know, this guy, Hasan, has said in the past that America...
I think he wrote that down too. He's looking at his notes. Let's dive into it. A train wreck combined with a dumpster fire. Trump versus Biden reaction. I'm going to skip the intro and stuff because, like, who gives a shit?
Joe Biden's mental and physical ability to be fit to serve the most powerful and important office in the country. As you were watching last night's debate, what was going through your mind?
I was right. As you know, I took an extraordinary step of running for president against Joe Biden in the Democratic primary, even though I'm not even a natural-born citizen. That's how desperate I was, our audience was. We did a poll and we asked our paying members, should I run? And now 9 months ago, 76% of them said, for God's sake, run. Do you know why? Because it was...
Wait, out of your... I missed this part. That's kind of an L. It wasn't 100%. Like, those are your paying members, man. What? Why wouldn't they want you to be president? Or at least, like, try to run for president? That means 24% of his paid fans said no.
It was obvious. And what I took away from it, Piers, and what everyone should remember is how much Democratic leadership lied to you and how much everyone in mainstream media lied to you. They said the emperor had clothes when it was obvious that he had no clothes. They said that he was perfectly fine and he was a dynamo behind the scenes. How preposterous. We were right all along. So the next time they tell you you got to vote for Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton in a primary because they're the only ones who can win, remember this preposterous lie. Remember how terribly they deceived you into picking the weakest candidate, not the strongest candidate. And Piers, every time I said, let's pick someone stronger so that we can beat Trump, they said, so you like Trump, you want to help Trump. No, you picked the strongest person so you can beat Trump. And apparently they couldn't understand simple concepts like that. But now the whole world has seen what we saw all along.
You know, Cenk, before we go to the other three, there are reports, as we're talking now, that Barack Obama has been having urgent conversations with Joe Biden to try and gently persuade.
Is this from today? Yeah, it's from this morning.
Him. It may be time to give up. But apparently Jill Biden is resisting, wants him to fight on. Kamala Harris is enraged that her name is not in the conversation to potentially replace him. People want to bypass her completely because she's even more unpopular than he is, and move to somebody like Gavin Newsom or someone like that. What is the playbook here? Well, are we into unprecedented territory? Because I don't think any incumbent president in American history who is seeking to be re-elected and hasn't stood down has ever been forced out. There's no mechanism to actually force him out unless he voluntarily goes, is there?
Yeah, there is one mechanism, unfortunately, and it's the donors. Because once the donors stop funding him, then he'll have no oxygen left. Remember, for someone who's a populist like Bernie Sanders, their source of power is the people. But for people like Biden, who are establishment candidates, their source of power is money. And once the money tap is turned off, then he's got no oxygen left. So I don't care what Jill Biden thinks. Are you, like, who's insane enough to care what she thinks? I don't care what Kamala Harris thinks. I care about picking the...
How can you not love this man, dude? God, I love my uncle. My goat.
Strongest candidate against Trump. Is democracy on the line or isn't it? Is this the most important?
I love when he gets mad. He's like, is democracy on the line or isn't it? Oh, man. My fucking goat, dude.
An election of our lifetime or isn't it? So
I literally only did this. I only did this panel because Cenk was doing it. I was like, I just want to fucking stand there and bob. Just go and nod. Just go, yep. He's right. He's cooking.
So now they're talking about, whose personality should we...
Bronny and LeBron? Bitch, I'm the fucking LeBron to his Bronny. Come on now.
Care more about? Whose feelings are more important? None of your feelings are important. What's important is that the American people be safe from Donald Trump. And let's be honest, Democratic leadership has never cared about that. And Piers, let's tell your audience why. Because remember, almost everyone on Biden's team, at the White House, on his campaign, at the Democratic National Committee, their job...
I was gonna go in for a nail biter because the camera was the camera was not on me, and then it swapped back, and I was like, "Fuck." Yeah, I see that.
Jobs are tied to Joe Biden. If there's a new candidate, they all get fired. So they have been enormously, monstrously selfish, saying, I don't care if the country burns as long as I get to keep my job. They betrayed you greatly, and you should never listen to them again.
Okay, let me bring in some of the others. Hasan Piker, I mean, you'd have to be willfully negligent with regard to what you saw with your own eyes, wouldn't you, to watch that debate last night and not conclude, as so many.
Jim Nona is back and being more annoying than ever, by the way, which is shocking. Jim Nona is back. This is the Hasan guy you were looking for, pal. When mom find the poop sock, I will not be MVPing him.
Biden supporters and friends have publicly concluded, this is from, people like Frank Bruni at the New York Times and others who just come out and said, you've got to stand down. Did you see anything last night that would allow you to construct an argument that he should continue and be the nominee?
Biden continuing? Absolutely not. But there's another glaringly obvious problem here. Jake and I have had this conversation personally for years at this point, very publicly, about Biden being ineligible to run and how he's going to lead to the downfall of the Democratic Party and potentially lose a pretty easy to win election against Donald Trump at this point. And we were absolutely right. And it was shocking that so many in the media who are now writing those articles that you're talking about were acting as though Biden was actually a dynamo behind the scenes. There was literally an article I remember from an excerpt from a Jill Stein book about how in order to soften the blow of Biden's age and how old and senile he's appearing on television, they were saying that he had really hard sex with his wife. I mean, that's to the extent that these guys went to in order to try and manufacture this narrative. And to anyone with eyes and ears,
I'm not wrong. I mean, they did that. Don't say, huh? That is real. They did that, bro. That is a thing that happened. That is a thing that actually happened. You cannot get mad at me for saying something that they objectively did do. I don't care that they don't know what I'm talking about. It's something that literally happened. I wanted to show the extent of the mania from the Democratic Party in terms of like the operatives coming out and being like, this is how great Biden really is. February 25th, 2024, Good Sex is Secret to Joe Biden's Long Marriage, new book on First Lady says. Joe Thick 8. I mean, for sure, the Bidens have cock meat. Like, that's not in contest here. That's not contested. That is 100% proven, okay? I have seen not one, but two Biden cocks at this point, both Hunter Biden and even Joe Biden's brother. And both of them are hanging dong, okay? It's true. They have nice dick meat. It's facts. So, it's not a wild estimation to make that Joe Biden is also hanging dong meat.
ears to hear, they could see what Biden looked like, what Biden's performance looked like. So I don't understand why it's so shocking to people. David Axelrod said on CNN, I believe at this point, 9 months ago, that, Biden has to go. Someone else has to come in and potentially win this race. You have an election coming up right now where the down ballot races, where you have Democratic Party senators doing 10 points better than the top of the ticket, than Joe Biden in places like Nevada, in states like Arizona. These are states that Biden has to win. You have issues, especially post-October 7, with the supposed blue wall that's obviously destroyed. You got Michigan, that's a potential problem for Joe Biden. All of these swing states that the Democratic Party should be clearing up with like Reagan numbers right now are in contest. Having said that, Donald Trump also had a phenomenally bad performance last night. It's just that no one is going to talk about that because one guy was very clearly demented. So when the other guy's talking about immigrants and how they're responsible for everything that is going on for an hour and 30 minutes straight, people didn't even have the time to make that assessment because they were so unimaginably shocked at the fact that the Democratic Party has basically put forward a cadet.
Project your voice more when on TV. You seem nervous. I am. And not nervous, but I am projecting my voice. It's just a different microphone.
And tried to push him over the finish line and are hoping that you don't notice.
Okay. I'm going to come to your two panelists in a moment. We're going to be joined right now, though, by Republican U.S. Senate candidate for Arizona, Carrie Lake.
Yeah, they just cut in and brought Carrie Lake in, which I'm skipping because who gives a shit about Carrie Lake? Then Jenna Ellis comes in and talks about the Republican triumph. No one, like, we didn't really interrupt one another except for the one blowout moment where Vinny was popping off.
There is panic. Do you think it's unfounded?
Well, I think it's unhelpful, and I think it's unnecessary. We've got to go in and got to keep our heads high. And as I say, we've got to have the back of this president. You don't turn your back because of one performance. What kind of party does that?
Oh, by the way, for the record, they muted our microphones because when Carrie Lake was on, I was trying to chime in, and my microphone was muted. Just letting you know, because if you think I wasn't trying to say some shit, I was, which is kind of fucked up. They pulled a, they pulled a debate move on me. They pulled a CNN debate move on my ass.
It's been a masterclass. 15.6 million jobs. That's 8 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents combined. The only thing the last 3 Republican presidents have in common is recessions. Democrats deliver. This president has delivered. We need to deliver for him.
Now, Vinny, here's the thing. Trump had a great night. I mean, even the CNN poll, 67% of CNN viewers felt that Trump put in a better performance than 33% for Biden. God knows who the 33% were. But he obviously won the debate very comfortably just by just not doing very much particularly special. But if they do get rid of Biden and they do parachute in somebody like Gavin Newsom, who's young, he's dynamic, he's not afraid to get into the horses, into the lion's den. He went on Fox News with Sean Hannity.
Dude, he's so handsome. That's why he's there, because he's hot. And I'm unafraid to say it. Vinny, for those of you who don't know, which is probably many of you, unfortunately, because you aren't here when we're getting value-tained, it seems, is a pivotal part of the Valuetainment podcast led by Patrick Bet-David, who also is like Bizarro Jank, another person that I love. Stupid Sexy Vinny is also a person that I love. He's great. He's just a hot man. That's what it is. Okay.
Now and acquitted himself.
You're hotter. Just saying. I love chatters taking what I'm saying seriously and going, no. Like he's attractive, but you're more attractive. Like, guys, I'm fucking, oh my God. I'm not even no, he's a hot man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Very well. He's eloquent. He's sharp. Yes, he's got a record that can be attacked. But in terms of the visual optics, would that not concern you a bit as a Trump fan, as a Republican, that you might end up out of this victory with a far more difficult opponent to try and defeat in November?
I think don't put anything past the Democrats. The fact that Gavin Newsom can sit there and literally look at somebody in the face and say, Joe Biden's presidency has been a master class. That Gavin Newsom is one of the most disgusting snakes in the grass. Just look at California. Okay, I even had to write this down. Piers, highest taxes in the nation. Thousands of businesses have left. Mandatory vaccine bills. Losing child custody over.
I love that he's had to write those things down. Like, if you want to understand how fucking stupid he is, like, he's like, what did you write down? Oh, mandatory vaccine bills. Like, that's what you couldn't remember. Like, it's not like you're giving data. You're not putting forward data. You wrote down California bad, and I hate it. They're making the kids gay.
Over if your child doesn't transition. $7 gas. This is, and I'm telling you right now, Piers, it's scary as hell. And I don't care what anybody says. This has all been a plan, okay? They moved the debates up early, all right? They didn't give him any, whatever he was on the State of the Union, Piers, that 60 minutes, he was up. They probably gave him adrenaline. He was there. He was in the moment. This was the time when they put him out there like a sacrificial lamb. They said, listen, Jill, we're not going to give Joe any drugs. We're going to roll him out there. He looked lost. He had no idea what he's going to do. I think the shift is going to happen 100%. There is absolutely no way they're going to stay with him. And that is going to be a huge challenge for the Republicans.
Bro, he just gets progressively more red when he's talking. And I personally love that. Like, that's his quirk. That's his secret superpower. He just like gets more and more red.
Republicans, because all this, because we've had a case study, Piers. We've had 4 years of Trump, and now we're going to have 4 years of Biden. There is no debate. There's no arguing.
Dude, look at his neck veins, dude. He's pushing that shit out, dude. Like... Do you get bored sitting there for an hour? Yeah, it was boring.
The country is shit right now. And I know Hasan said, you know, Trump was talking about the border and the illegals are the problem. They are the problem, okay? They are. Kerry mentioned one story. There's been 4 this week, 4 of young girls getting raped and murders. And people like that say, oh, it's not really a problem. You say that because it's not happening to you or your family or your daughter or your mother, okay? It is a problem. And by the end of this 4 years, the number's probably going to be 18 million.
The whole state of California. I don't know what you're talking about. I live in California. We are the largest border state, as the governor also mentioned.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Oh yeah, it's a total hellhole, dude.
California is a shit show.
Look at your tan.
Oh yeah, it's sinking. By the way.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to see how far I could take this. Like, I wanted to see what would happen. I had to. Okay? Like, is it productive? No. Okay? But, like, when you see an opportunity to see just how red a human being can get, this is like a science experiment at this point, okay? Like, I wanted to do this because scientists are saying this is the most red a man can get. Watch, because you think he's red right now. Just you fucking wait. Hold on.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Oh yeah, it's a total hellhole, dude.
California is a shit show.
Look at your tan.
Oh, yeah, it's sinking. By the way, first of all, I don't respect any Nepo baby that thinks Twitch streaming is a job. And I want the audience to know, this guy, Hasan, has said in the past that America...
I think he wrote that down, too. He's looking at his notes.
...deserved 9/11. So don't even talk. Don't even open your mouth. Don't even open your mouth. You don't have no reason to talk.
Vinny,
just shut up.
I'm a big
just
fan of you.
Just do me a favor and shut up.
I'm a big fan of you. And,
okay, but hold on.
I'm a big fan of you, so I don't want you to die. I feel like your heart pressure is going up. You're turning red, Vinny.
Somebody like you to say America deserved 9/11, Hasan, you shouldn't be on this fucking panel. I'm sorry for my language, Piers. He doesn't belong on your show. That being said, Piers, it'll be a huge challenge.
Are you triggered, Vinny?
Huge challenge for Democrats.
Should we invoke Donald Trump?
When I said that, if Piers hadn't interjected, he would have died. Okay? When I said, are you triggered, Vinny? And he heard it, look at his face.
You shouldn't be on this fucking panel. I'm sorry for my language, Piers. He doesn't belong on your show. That being said, Piers, it'll be a huge challenge.
Triggered, Vinny?
Huge challenge for Democrats.
Hasan, bu tarz şeylerden bahsettiğinde bence çok saçma oluyor. Niye sürekli yapıyorsun bunu? Sana ne lan? Yarram! Sana ne? I'm starting to think that he doesn't like you. Yeah, it was very sad because I like him a lot. But yeah, Piers had to fucking join in and cut it out because otherwise he was going to die. How he got this red? Oh yeah, his head's about to pop off.
Should we invoke Donald Trump right now and say, let's not be children?
Yeah, I think that's a very good call, Jenna. Yeah, I think we'll try and keep things...
Can we get back to the...
Do you know what was interesting? What was interesting? Well, hang on. What was interesting about last night, actually, I'll bring Cenk back in here. I like the format, actually, of...
Piers loved that shit, by the way. Piers fucking loved that shit. Look.
Huge challenge for...
Yeah, I know.
Let me...
Donald Trump right now and say, let's not be
Look at his fucking face.
children.
Yeah, I think that's a very good call, Jenna. Yeah, I think we're going to try and keep things...
If we get back to
The only one not laughing is Cenk. He was disappointed, I think. He was mad. What did Cenk say? He didn't say anything.
Do you know what was interesting? What was interesting? Well, hang on. What was interesting about last night, actually? I'll bring Cenk back in here. I liked the format, actually, of the way CNN did this. I thought Jake Tapper and Dana Bash did a very competent job. But also, I liked the format where there was no audience to manipulate, perhaps, or save a candidate for themselves.
He's so mad he had to drink his water.
Or to overreact to try and drown out a particularly salient point. And the mute button worked very well. You could see both candidates trying to speak at various times when their mute button was on. I don't know what you thought, but I actually thought it was a pretty good format for showing us what the reality was of these two candidates.
So, Piers, a lot of people are criticizing CNN now, and in fact, they themselves this morning admitted that maybe we should have fact-checked Trump once or twice when he said, like, deranged things like, "Oh, there's post-birth abortions." That doesn't make any sense at all.
But my answer would be, why Joe Biden should have done it. Right, Biden should have called him out on all those things, but he wasn't able to do it.
Hold on, that's exactly what I'm getting to,
right.
Piers. So, you know, when somebody says something so stupid like that, and like Trump says, "Oh, they let out all the mental institutions and the prisoners of countries," the opponent has a responsibility to say, which countries?
Yeah.
Tell me which countries released all their prisoners and mental inmates, etc. What are you talking about, post-birth abortion? That doesn't even make any sense, you deranged lunatic. So, yeah, I'm not getting on Jake Tapper or Dana Bash. The guy opposed to you is supposed to make those super obvious points.
Yeah.
Look, at this point, this conversation about whether Joe Biden's going to drop out is over. He's definitely going to drop out. The donors no longer think he's a good investment. And think about this, Piers. If he doesn't drop out, imagine what history is going to say about him. That he put his monstrous ego, maybe an ego even larger than Donald Trump's, above the needs of the country, the party, the voters. It's an unbearable thought. He would become one of the great villains of American history. And there's actually a really easy way to replace him. All he has to do is say, "I'm out." And then we go back to a traditional convention where the delegates decide. That's almost always how Americans decide their
I think
candidates anyway.
Yeah, we discussed it before, but two incumbent Democrat presidents since the end of World War II have both stood down in election year, Harry Truman and Lyndon Johnson. So there's a
Do I agree with Cenk that Biden will drop out? No, I think I agree with Cenk that where he says the donors will try and force Biden to drop out. Because he's not just saying like Biden's going to drop out on his own volition. He knows that Biden is a fucking deranged lunatic, in his words, that is like incredibly narcissistic and operating on fucking pure resentment and fumes. Do you think there's any chance of the 25th Amendment? I said last night that I think it's the funniest thing that could happen. And then the Republicans stop it because they think Biden is like, you know, a great, a much better candidate to run against than anyone else.
Precedent here for this to happen. It just hasn't happened where the incumbent president doesn't want to go. Jenna, I want to bring you in just on one point, which is the behavior of Jill Biden after the debate.
Vinny, why does he look teary-eyed? Vinny's still mad that he has to sit on a panel with a Twitch streamer as opposed to what he does, which is, I think, being like the third most relevant guy on the Patrick Bet David Valuetainment podcast. You don't do anything. I, on the other hand, am valuetaining people. I didn't even say anything. I just said he looks red and he's got a shitty tan. And he's getting progressively redder. I even said I was a fan of his. Does this mean you're not getting invited to PBD? Are you kidding me? Patrick Bet David is a fucking entertainment demon. He is a valuetainment demon. He knows good content when he sees it. If anything, this would mean I would go on Patrick Bet David extra hard. The only thing standing in my way of going on Patrick Bet David is my lack of interest in ever flying to the state of Florida. I hope you guys understand that.
Hey, watch this.
such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
On sports.
Anyway, I don't really care about what she has to say.
I wrote a column for New.
I don't really care about what Mo Vela has to say. He just like glazes Biden nonstop for like 20 fucking minutes. Literally, he just like doesn't really.
The president deserved the opportunity to do that. He clearly was not on his game last night, and so possible.
No, it's just good. I can see people trying. A lot of people in the Democrat Party like Biden. I've read Thomas Friedman saying he cried last night. The New York Times columnist when he was watching it. Frank Bruni was sort of tearing up. Everyone's tearing up. I don't really feel emotional, I'm afraid, and I find it very hard to feel sympathy for Joe Biden. I think it was very sad what we watched, but I also think we're now at the stage where this is actually willfully selfish and harming to the Democrat Party, isn't it?
Yeah, so I only have one point that I have sympathy for Joe Biden on. But first of all, these guys, I mean, look at the people in power, whether it's media or Democratic leadership. They're all crying because, their beloved Joe Biden didn't look good. I mean, this guy just sent $20 billion to slaughter more Palestinian children. I cry for them. I don't cry for Joe Biden. Joe Biden is taking corporate donations his entire life. He used to be known as a senator from MBNA. This guy is...
Get him, Unc! You scrolling, lol? No, my phone wasn't even on me. You guys are wrong. I was just like looking down as I was fucking bored and forgetting that the camera's on me.
It's a classic corporate corrupt...
Dude, at this point, it's been 43 minutes, and I waited for 30 minutes listening to fucking Piers get interviewed by some footballer, okay? Because he was like 30 minutes late to his own fucking broadcast, and he made us just sit there and listen. He made us sit there and listen to that interview. So yeah, I'm fucking bored. I'm in a crammed ass space in like a van. I might have actually written some stuff on HasanAbi a little bit in between.
Democrat. So I don't...
Does Piers Morgan pay you? Fuck no.
Any of this, like, oh my God, he was such a good person. And think about this. This guy, and even if you disagree with me and you think, oh my God, no, I love establishment Democrats that sell us out to the donors. Oh, you're so radical for saying things that are obviously true. But think about this. Even for those guys, he was willing to risk all of us, the Democratic voters.
You doing this for free? Bro, are you kidding me? I did this for my own personal entertainment and for you guys, okay? There's no other rhyme or reason as to why I would do that, okay? That's literally the only reason why I go on these fucking shows. No, it's not even the exposure. What are you kidding me? I had a fucking 130,000 live viewers last night. Fuck you mean exposure? No, if anything, this is like taking time from my research time in the morning before I start the stream. That's why I was a little annoyed, actually, that he fucking spent 30 minutes getting interviewed. It's like, bro, what do you think? You think I need to be on your show? Come on now. Like, be a little bit respectful. Having said that, yeah, no, I literally go on these shows for this so we can react to it. And it's like fun. And there's like TikTok clips and shit that comes out. Why don't you hit the do bag with him? Podcasting is a real job? Because Piers interjected. I would have loved... Piers does not respect you. Yes, he does not. That is true. I don't think he does. I think he likes the drama that I bring and the eyeballs that I bring to a show, but he does not like me. He likes jank. You can tell the difference between someone Piers actually likes and someone Piers actually doesn't like. He'll let his guests or sometimes himself rabidly come after people that he doesn't like. He likes jank, so he'll like... let Rabbi Shmuley do his thing, but then he'll like usually cut it out or let jank pop off too. Whereas with me, he brings me on because I bring eyeballs, I bring drama, and also he can unload into me, both himself and also his panelists. Do I like Piers? I like Piers. You are the Twitch kid. Well, I don't give a shit. To be fair, I did call him a baboon in a suit. Like I said, he's a monkey. So, it's not necessarily like the best introduction to me. But I think he brings me on so we can like rip into me or have the panelists rip into me. And then, I just push back and it's win-win. If I get owned, then it's great, commie owned Lamau. right? And if I don't get owned and I push back, then it's a really viral moment for him, for his show.
The Democratic Party, the entire country, just to satiate his ego. Oh, I want to be a two-term president. That's better for my legacy. So he's an egomaniac that I have no sympathy for, except one thing. Last night was elder abuse. And it was elder abuse by the entire Democratic leadership, the DNC, and yes, sorry, but Jill Biden. If Jill Biden wants to run for president, she should do it. But, I mean, there's no way that a loving spouse lets that happen.
No, I agree.
And thinks, oh, great, push him out there, we got this. You don't have it. This is absurd. But the one piece of good news out of all
Hasan calls for Mama Gretch to be put in office.
this, Piers, is it's over. We're going to get a new candidate, and hopefully we're going to kick Donald Trump's ass.
And Cenk, before I go to Hasan, who would your preference be for who that person should be that could actually be the nominee and potentially beat Trump?
So the problem with the Democratic Party is that they never pick a populist in a populist time. They keep picking the most establishment candidates there are when the American people keep telling you they don't want establishment candidates like Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. So they should pick a populist, but they won't. Of course, the top candidate is Bernie Sanders, and he would easily beat Donald Trump. Everybody actually knows that. They just don't. And let's be honest, the Democratic Party would rather have Donald Trump than Bernie Sanders. So, but if you say, no, Bernie Sanders is too old or we can't have it, you can go to Ro Khanna, you can go to Jamie Raskin, loved by everyone in the Democratic Party. He's incredibly smart, incredibly principled. He would eviscerate Donald Trump in a debate. Let's pick someone who can win and actually represent the people.
Okay, before I come to Hasan, actually, let me just get Vinny's reaction.
There's a delay.
One name.
I'm afraid I'm going to disagree with you.
There's a delay. That head tilt for Ro Khanna, for the record. I was like, the fuck?
Think there.
Yeah, go on then. Okay, Hasan, you respond. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, Big Gretch. That's it. That's the method. That's the movement. Okay? Put Mama Gretch in office. Okay? She's popular. She's in a pivotal state. She would absolutely crush it. I don't like Gavin Newsom at all. I think he has a lot of weaknesses. I think he's horrible. He's done an abysmal job refusing to fix the housing crisis in California that's obviously contributing to the homelessness crisis so that, guys like Vinny can complain about how much of a shithole California is or whatever people talk about. Like, that would stick on a national level on Gavin Newsom. Don't turn the rest of the country into California would be the attitude. Another good guy, I think, another great guy, J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois. We need a big boy in office. We need a dynamo. We need a guy with a kind heart. He could even, I'm not exactly a fan of him being a billionaire, but ultimately, maybe we could have a real billionaire against Donald Trump's phony billionaire status. Who knows? Anyone would be better than Joe Biden at this point. Even Hillary Clinton.
Well,
probably would
that's
be better
interesting.
than Joe Biden at this point.
That's interesting. For those who don't know,
well, hang on. Cenk does not agree with that. What is this? You really said this on Piers? Yes, I did. Because dude, I'm not taking it very seriously. I don't know if you guys can recognize that from the terms I'm using, but I'm not exactly taking this the most seriously, but I'm just having fun with it. I'm freestyling. Okay. I said Mama Gretch.
Which is why I think
hang on. For those who don't know who the Gretch is, by the way, it's the Michigan governor Gretchen Whitmer. But I want to come to Vinny. Hillary Clinton's name is being talked up here as potentially the unfinished business that she comes sweeping back and she does what
I was going to say Hillary Clinton might do better than Joe Biden, but not by a lot, and might still lose, but they cut me off before I could finish that point. But it doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? Whatever.
She failed to do in 2016, and she actually beats him. What are your thoughts about Hillary returning?
You know what, Piers? I think she's finished. Hillary Clinton has no chance. I think every single time she gets in front of a camera, it's.
Wait, what? Bro, I can't get over. Cenk said Dems would take Trump over Bernie. That's crazy as fuck. No, it's not. He's 100%. He's 100% right on that. They basically did that in 2016, by the way. They 100% would because they did. Okay? Also, do you guys not remember 2020? What are you talking about? The Democratic Party And the media apparatus would absolutely, without a shred of doubt, pick Donald Trump over Bernie Sanders. There were people that were openly writing think pieces on this, by the way, like when Bernie was a prospect.
Democratic Party. I think she's the worst. From her history with her and her husband, it's abysmal. Let's not even get into the Clinton Foundation and Epstein and her husband. That's a whole different can of worms. But I think it's funny how everybody on the left is so, this whole failed presidency is because of Biden's age and his dementia, which he definitely has. Whoever's going to come in, it's the Democratic Party's policies. Plain and simple. I don't give a damn who you put in there. Gretsch, Bernie Sanders, communism, you want socialism, you want all that crap. It's not going to fix anything. That shit's going to keep going. Say what you want. Last night solidified it even more for the independents in the middle that are kind of on the fence. I would much rather vote for the convicted felon than this poor old...
I love people going, Bernie showed us his true colors on genocide. Fuck him. Brother, it's not going to happen anyway. But, like, that's such a funny fucking take to have. Like, yeah, okay, tomorrow Bernie Sanders is going to be president over Joe Biden. And you're like, nah, it's because he still loves genocide. So, no. Like, what are you talking about? We're talking about, like, what the realistic options are. Bernie is not even in there. But in the hypothetical that he is... What are you going to be like? No, I'm not even entertaining the hypothetical. He's not sufficiently fucking, up to snuff. We're talking about the leader of the Democratic Party. Like, what do you mean? Like, that is so beyond comprehension for me because it's so unimaginably unrealistic that, like, that would ever happen. But I do love entertaining the idea that there's people there. There's people out there that'll be like, nah, I actually don't like Bernie as the leader of the Democratic Party. As opposed to who? As opposed to who? Like, what do you want? Embalmed Lenin? Embalmed Mao? Embalmed Ho Chi Minh? Like, who? Who's out there? Who is a better Democratic Party candidate? Like, Bernie's old, and I think that's a major weakness for him. And especially when everyone's, like, personally... talking about how fucking unimaginably old Biden is, that would be a relatively weak substitution and less likely. But like, why are we even having this conversation over like something that's never going to happen because it's so goddamn beyond the pale? Like, it's so goddamn unimaginable. And there's chatters who are still like, nah, even in that hypothetical, I don't fuck with them.
Moron that they wheel out there now on purpose like a sacrificial lamb with no drugs and everything to turn. You notice, Piers, every other debate, every CNN anchor, everybody that was moderating would cut Trump off. They would yell. They would stop. Notice how they sat there, Jay Tapper and Dana Bash. They were quiet. They let everything pull out. This was all on purpose. And I think that Hillary Clinton's on the table. I think Gavin Newsom for sure. He was the only one there. You notice that? He had good gel in his hair.
Why is he always so angry? You know, maybe this is not a question to ask 48 minutes into the video, but like, it is kind of weird because like, you could ask him a question about like what he ate for lunch and he would respond with this energy where he's like so mad at you. Like he's behaving like Piers Morgan has insulted his mother, his dead mother, in front of this crowd, the way he's popping off.
I said for 2 years that I think Newsom is the one that could put up the best fight. And I was persuaded when he went on Fox News into the heart of the enemy lair and sat there with Sean Hannity for an hour and acquitted himself very, very well. I mean, Jenna, to bring you in here, I mean, who Jenna, if you were a Democrat right now, who would you think?
I had a little bit of a moment with her because she was like chirping about abortion and like how fucking radical Big Gretch was.
Had the best chance of actually taking Trump on. You know Trump very well. You know his weaknesses, his strengths. Who of all the Democrat names you've seen touted would you fear most potentially as being the one that could win it for the Democrats?
Well, I actually agree with what Sink said, that we really need a populist on both sides that actually speaks to what the American people are concerned about. And the if the Democrats can put up someone who isn't so far extreme leftist establishment, then I think that they have a real chance of actually getting disaffected
who is that person?
Republicans as well. And I think that they should put up someone like an Andrew Yang. They should have gone with RFK Jr. I mean, he acquitted himself very well in the debate, and neither side, notice, wanted him on stage. I think he is going to rise in momentum after last night's debate. And anyone realistically that the Democrats put up now, if it's not someone as far left as a Gretchen Whitmer, for example, has a real shot at winning. But what I think the American people need to do is take a hard look at the U.S. Constitution. We have a minimum. Because look at what she did during the COVID lockdowns.
Can you give me like
look
one
at how
policy?
she has. So look at what she did during the COVID lockdowns. Look at her position on abortion. Look at how she has run her state as basically taking legislative power into the executive. So look at her position on queer
position
theory.
on abortion
so
that you
she
find
is
so
for
extreme?
Abortion. So her position.
I love that she said extreme leftist establishment, by the way. Like 3 things that definitely... Your face when she suggested Andrew Yang killed me? Yeah. I mean, she's not exactly the brightest crayon, okay? Like, she said Andrew Yang would be great. She said she supported Ron DeSantis. Ridiculous stuff overall. This is the pink hair on the panel, okay? Like the last time I was on, Piers always has to fucking fill the panel with like one person who just doesn't know what the fuck they're saying. Like at least Vinny, despite being a fucking coked out TRT monster, is like at least 1, entertaining, and 2, has like a tangible position. She, on the other hand, she has no position. She's the no position candidate. She's the center candidate on the panel. She's just there to just do this, okay? And have a little bit of airtime so that maybe she can cut together like a video and give that to her shitty ass middling agent, who will then be able to put her on like actual TV shows like MSNBC or whatever. That's the reason why she's here. She's just trying to have like airtime. On abortion
that is so extreme is that she wants no limits at all, no restrictions. And most of the country is not for that. Even the Democrats themselves know that there needs to be some restrictions, at least in.
So there's like a bunch of different things I wanted to say here to be like, 1, most of the country is in agreement on our side. As low-key infantilizing her, I am infantilizing her. She's a fucking idiot. What are you talking about? Yes, dude, I'm infantilizing a person, not on the basis that they're a woman, but on the basis that they're like making a incredibly dumb argument about how women's bodily autonomy not being restricted, which was Gretchen Whitmer, who's also a woman, by the way. Her perspective on the matter is radical. Claiming that Gretchen Whitmer's position on abortion is radical is unimaginably stupid. Misogyny is when you disagree with a woman. I know.
Pro-Biden and thinks that he won last night. It's the TikToker Harry Sisson. Harry, you think Biden won last night?
One person.
Yeah, no, I did, definitely. On the substance of...
I got so excited when Harry popped in. My goat. How dare you infantilize the person with a toddler's view of how the world works? Yeah, I know. You're right. As a feminist, okay, I should have fucking turned around and been like, my queen, you are so right. We should kill women that get abortions.
So the conversation, Biden won. His policy was pragmatic. It was logical. And Donald Trump just...
This is like one of the only remaining pro-Biden TikTokers. I think he might literally be the only one at this point. He's like a super fucking riding for Biden TikToker. Him and the other kid with the Zoomer haircut. He's the last man standing.
Just lied the entire time. Is incapable of telling the truth. Is incapable of actually... He didn't talk about how he's going to make the American people's lives better. He just, said that, January 6th didn't happen. He talked about the election. He said that overturning Roe is a great thing and forcing 10-year-old girls to give birth is a fantastic thing. That was Donald Trump's debate. So on the substance of the conversation, Joe Biden absolutely prevailed.
Right, but the problem you've got is I saw the CNN fact checkers on Joe Biden's public statements last night, and it was just untruth after untruth after untruth.
Oh, I'm not sitting here I'm not sitting here telling you that Joe Biden tells the truth every single time he speaks, or that he gets every single number right and every single statistic right.
He gets most of them wrong.
That's not true. To compare Joe Biden's lies to Donald Trump's lies is laughable. Trump told over 30,000 lies during his presidency, averaging around 20 a day, and he showed that last night when he lied about every single
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit proud of him. I was a little bit proud of him for cooking here. He did a good job.
thing he talked about. Lying doesn't win debates.
Yeah, but the problem is, if you're going to use lying or misleading the public with statements against a candidate, you've got to make sure your own candidate speaks with unforked tongue. I mean, Biden, barely a week goes by without him saying something which is immediately proven to be untrue. I mean, only like 2 weeks ago, he was claiming that his uncle was shot down and eaten by cannibals. None of that ever happened. He wasn't shot down and he wasn't eaten by cannibals. I mean, I just think that this idea that Trump's the only one whose statements can't be trusted is just not true. Last night, again and again, I'm not denying that Trump made a series of untrue statements. He does that. He barrels through and hopes that the big messages about the border and so on kick home, and they probably do, actually, with many Americans. But if Biden's going to play the lying card as a pro-Biden thing against Trump, he's got to tell the truth and get his numbers right. He can't then have a fact check from CNN, which was painful to watch last night. It went on and on and on. Almost every statistic he came out with was completely wrong.
Yeah, but Piers, I mean, let's be real here. Like, if you're lying...
Oh, Vinny's not going to let him slide either. Vinny's coming back. I love how the Dems are ignoring the opposite of the debate when one of the most important debates ever brought up in any political science or history class, the JFK v. Nixon debate where JFK won just because he looked better on TV. Yeah. And it was also like, I guess at that point, it was like not all that common to have televised debates at all. So like, it was one of those moments where like Nixon was sweating and people could see it. JFK wore makeup and people could see that. And he looked infinitely better in comparison. I think it might have been the first one. Was it the first one? It was the first. Okay, I didn't want to get it wrong. To be even more specific, it was the first ever televised debate. And JFK won with TV watchers, but Nixon won with radio listeners. Yeah.
You see the one where he said
one sec, Vinny. You look like relax, buddy. If you're getting a number incorrect, right? If you're getting a number incorrect, that's like a very
so 7 years
small
ago.
Do we know anything? Is anything real? Does anything matter? Dude, I don't think you understand. This is completely fucking normal. Okay? Yes, Biden is a carcass. Yes, a lot of Americans recognize that again. But you have to remember, Donald Trump spent 90 minutes talking about immigrant rape. Okay? Hello? Like, this is what I was trying to stress in the beginning of this conversation. This is what I was trying to stress throughout the conversations that I've had on this issue. It's not like Donald Trump was sweet either. The problem is that Biden was so bad that people didn't even have time to consider Donald Trump's flubs. But of course, the people that like watched it were shocked by how unimaginably insane Biden was. I mean, not Biden, sorry, Trump was. Bro, he literally, dude, come on. Like, I'm used to it at this point, and perhaps you are too. Like, because you hear Donald Trump so much. But you have to remember, like, if someone hasn't been, like, paying that close attention, and many voters are not, and many non-voters are paying even less attention, when they see Donald Trump, let's say for the first time since, like, the last election cycle, and he's just on there, and he's just like, I want to kill every brown person in the country, they're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, no, there's going to be people that hear that and go, yeah, the other guy is like really fucking old. Holy shit. But like all they hear, all those audiences are hearing is Donald Trump saying, we have to kill immigrants immediately. Like tomorrow. We have to kill immigrants yesterday. Literally using Palestinian as a pejorative. Yeah, no, I don't think anybody cares about that. That's like not even in consideration for many voters.
7
Hold
years
on now.
when
I'm
Trump
not
was
done
in?
yet. I'm
How
not
old were
done
you,
yet.
10 years?
Especially considering both of the candidates are like, you know, dick riding Israel.
Years
You
old?
right there.
Were you 10 years old, Harry?
What was that?
How old were you when Trump won? 10 years old? 7
Benny,
years
you
ago, you were
look,
10
you
years
look like
old,
you're about
bro.
to explode.
You don't know
Relax.
what the hell you're talking about.
Take a breather.
That's not
Take a,
relevant.
Hasan was right to
You're
call.
talking about.
His age
You have
isn't relevant.
makeup.
He's entitled to his
Hasan,
opinion.
listen,
Come on.
listen. I know Hasan's a big fan
Yeah,
of mine. He
you're
was
10
right to
years
call you
old.
out for looking like you're about to explode. It's okay, no problem here.
Yeah, you were 10 years old when
you have
Trump
to, you have to
won.
level.
You were
Get
10
him,
years old.
Harry.
And what are you like 80? Like relax, buddy. Take a breather. You're okay. I promise. It's okay.
I fucking cooked his ass, dude. Said, what are you, like 80? Relax, buddy. He's so mad. Oh, man. That made me so happy.
You're so good.
Zen,
You're so
Zen,
good.
yoga.
Biden's
Yoga's
a-
good.
Biden-
Yoga's
last
good.
guy,
Yoga's
Biden was
good.
full of
Can I
shit.
just say, it doesn't. I don't actually care how old either of you are. Let's get back to the real reality, which is I care about the age of the president because he looks like he's 180. So, Harry,
listen,
I'm just
for-
bemused.
for-
Because
I do care about
33% of
Woody. I do
people
care about
watching it
Woody, though.
apparently
He
think
looks like he's
Biden
gonna
won. I
explode.
don't know.
I gotta make a
Harry,
comment
hang
about
on,
the lie
hang on.
real quick. I gotta
Harry,
make a comment
I
about
don't know how.
He's getting so mad. Oh, I did have fun. This was probably my most fun Piers Morgan panel. Cenk is sitting there like, I came here for the real discussion. I mean, that's Piers Morgan. I'm sorry. Like, no disrespect to Unc, but what the fuck are you expecting? Of course it's gonna be valuetainment through and through, especially when you got this guy on the panel. Are you kidding me?
How anybody honestly can watch that debate and honestly conclude that Biden won. You'd have to be so deeply embedded in the Democrat partisan tank that you can't crawl out long enough to see the wood for the trees.
So first thing, I want to respond to your lie comment. I think that, yeah, we want both candidates to be honest, but we have to weigh the lies here. Like if Joe Biden gets a statistic incorrect, that is vastly different than Donald Trump still pushing lies about January 6th and about the election. So that's
he is such a good Democratic Party op, by the way. Like he is so much better than like 90% of these fucking dummies in terms of like keeping his cool and just fucking sticking to the facts. Like he's actually a very good communicator. I mean, obviously, push comes to shove. I mean, this guy, he's the, relentless Brandon Dick Rider, right? Obviously. So it's not like we are in line ideologically, but having said that, I think especially for his age, like he's pretty talented.
first and foremost. But second of all, as I said, the substance of the conversation is what matters. Trump can scream the loudest, he can lie the most. That doesn't mean you win a debate. When Joe Biden's up there saying, like, you know what, my policy is pragmatic. I want to give women their reproductive rights. I want to continue to lower healthcare costs. I want to expand healthcare for veterans more and more. That's pragmatic policy. That's logical.
But Harry, the problem
with a little push, you can turn him socialist. Fuck no. This dude, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have any evidence for this, but this is 100p a former HasanAbi head turned DNC operative. Okay. Like all of those Gen Z for Change guys, including Sean the Black, who's wonderful, is no 0% shot. He was a HasanAbi head. No, dude, come on. 2020, this guy was in here 100%. I think he might even still follow me on TikTok. I'm pretty sure he used to.
Okay, but Harry, here's the problem.
Substance.
Harry, here's the problem. He couldn't articulate his views in a way that anyone could really understand.
No, he's not a Hutch viewer. He has his own motivations. You're ridiculous. He's so much better than Hutch at being a propagandist for the Democratic Party. What are you talking about? He's not like recycling destiny takes like Hutch is. The fuck? No, this guy's getting his he's straight piping from the DNC. Okay, he's getting his. He said Hutch. Yeah, dude. Sure. To be fair, could have gone the dark route and be a grifter, the caliber of Jackson Hinkle. Yes. I think a lot of you forget this community has spawned some of the actual literal spawns of Satan, like Jackson Hinkle, like the other one, the short Albanian one. The fuck was his name? The one who's like, I could be so much more racist than you. Haas. Yeah, that one. Like, I love that clip. Sneeko, technically. I like that that's how you know him. Yes, I don't have the fucking brain rot. Okay. So yes, I know him as the short Albanian man who once famously said, I could be so much more racist than you.
And secondly, and more crucially, in Trump, he has an opponent who tells a lot of untruths. And what you want the president is to be quick-witted enough and sharp enough and intelligent enough to, every time he does that, leap on it and tell the American people why what he said was untrue. Biden was simply incapable of doing any of that. And that's what a lot of Democrats have said overnight is the most problematic thing. It's not that he's old or anything. It's that he was incapable of either articulating policy in a way that resonated or holding Trump to account. And if you can't do that with a candidate like Trump, there's no hope.
Yeah, except Piers, if that was the method that Biden was...
Hang on a second, I'll come to you in one sec. Let Harry respond to that.
Sorry.
Well, all right. What I was going to say is, if that's the method that Biden was going to go with, then all of his answers would just be fact-checking Trump. Every 2 minutes he has to be like, okay.
My delay is so fucking annoying too. That's the other thing. Harry's very good. He's familiar with your work, says Hasan's DNC contact. Solid investment from our team. He doesn't follow you anymore. We won't let you. He doesn't follow you anymore. I think he is a former HasanAbi. I don't know if he would admit it or not. Maybe he isn't, but I'd be shocked. But regardless, I think I respect his game. I respect his talents. You can't Zoom calling like Harry. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. How come Harry gets a Zoom in call, but I had to sit in the goddamn studio? What? Interview him, speak with him, debate the poor child. Revolution, folks. Reach out to him and ask. Work on your connections. Connect with him. Bro, are you okay? Calm down, man. That is a normal chatter. He is. This is the most normal chatter.
Okay, Trump lied about this, and that's not any way to win a voter over. Biden, I would think it's more of the moderator's job to...
Tim Pool's hairline, thank you for the 5 get this subs. What? Read my chats? What? Read this message. Motherfucker, I'm gonna ban his ass. Where the fuck? Megaphonics, it's been a while. It's been a while since you've been banned. Take a day off. Okay? Take a fucking day off, Megaphonics.
Fact check, as opposed to Biden dedicating his entire debate to fact checking. Biden should be laying out the policy, which he did. He seemed pretty coherent when he called out Donald Trump for assaulting and raping E. Jean Carroll. And
what did you think? Okay,
felon. People don't like to talk about
excruciating moment when Joe Biden basically...
The left is real divided, so we could be good to Sepak and debate with him. What? Dude, shut up. Please stop talking. The left is real divided. He's not. He's a liberal. He's a fucking Democratic Party spokesperson at this point. What the fuck are we talking about? The left.
He froze and mumbled his words. It said complete gibberish. And then Donald Trump just said, I don't think even he knows what he just said. Let's just watch this clip, and I'm going to ask you to explain to me what he said.
I think more importantly, he's super shameless. He's super shameless. Like, that's huge. You know what I mean? It's like kind of wild how shameless he is to just like go, not be devoid of any shame whatsoever, to just like go on any broadcast and be like, no, I think fucking Biden did an incredible banger job.
And with everything we have to do with, look, if he doesn't care, he doesn't like the military at all, and he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA.
I mean, Harry, what was Biden saying there?
It's a very nice, selectively edited clip. I like it. Yeah, I don't think that every person ever is going to speak perfectly. So highlighting Biden not speaking perfectly.
No, but I watched the whole thing, Harry. I watched the whole thing.
The broader conversation.
I watched the whole 90 minutes. I don't come at this as on the left or right. I'm not a member of either party. I don't promote either party over the other. I simply come at it as a journalist. I didn't understand 90% of what Biden was saying. I did understand Trump, and I understood that he was misleading me a lot of the time, but also understood on the big picture messaging, which he kept ramming down the viewers' throats about the chaos at the border, the state of the economy, particularly on Black Americans and Latino Americans who are gravitating to Trump, and so on and so on. On those big picture messages, he was hitting home hard. I don't know what Biden's messages were. I don't know what he was talking about.
I love when Piers claims he's 100% neutral. Like, come on, dude.
Piers, did you not understand President Biden when he talked about how the PACT Act now has 1 million people signing up for it?
No,
and now
not
getting
really.
Did you
No,
not understand
I
him?
didn't know.
Did you not understand him when he talked about the largest investment fighting climate change in world history?
No, because he spoke in a weird. Look, I'd understood it if you had basically translated him in real time. I'd have understood it. If Gavin Newsom had done the translation for us and articulated what Biden was trying to say, I'd have understood it. But Biden spoke for 90 minutes in a croaky, monotone, drone-like manner that honestly, for most average viewers watching, was utterly incomprehensible. And the problem he's got is that Trump sounded and looked exactly like he did in 2020 and 2016, like he's always done.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, he did.
He did not. He did not sound exactly like he did in 2020.
I promise you, go back and watch Trump
he
in
was
2016. Go back and watch Trump in 2016.
Incorrect.
Compared to.
Yeah, no, Trump definitely sounds pretty close to how he did in 2016. That's not correct. Anyway, the rest of it is just like mumbo jumbo. They bring on like some fucking Republican person. I don't even know who the fuck this lady is. And I tried to address her as well. I was muted. And then Cenk fires off. If we keep Biden in the race, a Trump victory is guaranteed. Trump sounded more stable than 2020 or 2016, thanks to the mic being muted. Did he not pivot to you after this? I don't think so. I mean, I guess he did.
Here's the example of Twitter, right? The president.
Here, there's this.
And it's not him.
Let's hear Vinny. Vinny's content. Vinny's content. Let's hear Vinny.
It was always obvious how old he was. It was always obvious that he couldn't do this. And I want to thank whichever Democrat made the decision to put this before the convention, because thank God the debate was before the convention so we could pick someone else. If you say at this point that we shouldn't pick a different candidate, you're saying I'm super happy to have Donald Trump as president and have him destroy this democracy. It's a betrayal of the Democratic Party. But right now, the RNC should be panicking, not celebrating, because they're going to get a new candidate, and that new candidate is going to kick Trump's ass. That debate turned out to be a disaster for both of the candidates.
Okay, Vinny, I can see you not entirely agreeing with that assessment.
Because I'm just so curious. Like, what threat to democracy? Why didn't he do and burn the country down when he was the president? Why? Why didn't he? All that Putin stuff, all that BS. It's all these Democrats. You guys all have Stockholm syndrome, okay? You guys have all fallen in love.
Does he sound like XQC? Why are you guys... Oh, because he's stuttering and shit?
With your abuser, and the abuser is the Democratic Party. They don't give a shit about you. They don't care. They don't care. Wheel out whoever you want. It's going to be the same policies. Everything that's happening right now is going to keep happening. What's going to change? You had Harry come on here. The kid, what was he, 10 years old? 8 years old? He's talking about like he's lived a life and he knows what's talking about. And for us, for nobody to talk up, what's so good about Joe? What has Joe Biden done? Can anybody give me one thing? And don't say infrastructure. It's absolute shit show, and it's not him running the show as we saw yesterday.
All right,
hold on. It's the them. It's the them. It's the them when.
Look at how they mute me when other people are talking. It's kind of fucked up, don't you think? They won't let me chime in.
What? I think Hasan wants to give you one thing, Hasan.
It's not even just one thing. Here's the problem, okay? I don't like Joe Biden. He went from Jim Crow Joe to Genocide Joe. And he is a monstrous person for the most part, as are many American presidents. Having said that, however, one of the key factors here is that the administration is competent. I use the example of Twitter, right? Twitter used to be run by liberal Jack Dorsey, right? That's his name, I think. I can't really remember. And it wasn't exactly the greatest website. It wasn't the best website. It still had a litany of issues, right? Still breaking people's brains, but at least it functioned. And then Elon Musk took over, and we saw exactly what happened to Twitter. It is now a right-wing shithole filled to the brim with gore porn and just the worst imaginable positions that you've ever heard, and just open white supremacist Nazis getting hundreds of thousands of likes. And that difference between at least like a Democratic administration, which does fill the agencies. You have the NLRB doing phenomenal work. You have Lena Khan doing phenomenal work at FTC. You have the EPA, at least relatively competent. These are all issues that are going to become massive complications down the line when you have something like Project 2025 openly talking about abolishing the Department of Education, abolishing the EPA. And that's precisely why people like Cenk and myself, who are not exactly big fans of Joe Biden and haven't shied away from criticism, see the writing on the wall, see exactly how damaging someone like Donald Trump's second term is going to look like, and see how damaging Republican policies have become and how reactionary the Republican Party has become, even more reactionary than before.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would also say that...
Hasan, is your life...
And what that says
you've
for
hit on
Americans,
something.
that's why we want to
Hang on,
talk
don't talk at once. I'll come to you. Hasan, I think you've hit on something there, which is, it was not only Biden's inability to hold Trump to account for the lies he...
You're an idiot. I hope you died the worst way. So I'm a Nazi because I had democracy in my country, huh? Kisses from Argentina, where ex-Twitter saved my country from socialism and communism, asshole. Okay, I don't normally say this, but that guy might literally be like the 1938, like NSDAP style Nazi, like a child of a Nazi. You know what I mean? Like, being a Malay supporter is a struggle in and of itself. But I'm not even joking when I say this. Like, this dude might literally be like, a classic style Argentinian by the name of like Adolfo Heimlich. You know what I mean? One of them classic Argentinians. What do you mean? Why you call me a Nazi just because my grandfather's name is Adolfo Heimlich? All right, I can get it, man. Although is a hard word to believe from that point of view. Just the blondest Argentinian, okay? Hey, commies crashes the economy while banging his sister and talking to his dogs. Dead dog. Specifically, the dead one. Excuse me. My name is Adolfo Heimlich the Fourth. Adolfo Heimlich was my great-grandfather, who suspiciously did not have this accent, but instead sounded very German for some reason. Why you call everyone Nazi? Like my neighbor's grandfather, Julio Goebbels. What does FF mean? Final Fantasy? He's forfeiting? He's a classic libertondo? Tonto? He's forfeiting. He's quitting the game I won. Oh, okay. Also, you can't tell me I'm fucking mean when he started off the conversation with, "You are an idiot. I hope you die the worst way." Okay? Like, it's not like, I would say I'm being light with the energy he brought. Adolfo Heimlich was real. Yes. Exactly. And now he lives in Argentina. What do you mean? This is no problem. Just like 1000% inflation. No problem. We love the IMF. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, let's continue.
He was telling, but also his inability to sell himself and what he's achieved. Because there are achievements there.
Absolutely.
But actually, He's been incapable. Gavin Newsom, in that 1-minute clip I showed earlier, was able to articulate better achievements by Biden than Biden's been able to do. That's why Biden's approval rating is in the tank at like 37%. Jenna, I want to bring you in here for a kind of summary of where we are with this. What do you think happens now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think what's remarkable that we've seen in just the last 12 hours since the debate is that the Democrats are.
I think that's it. That's the end of it. Like the rest of it is just a her chirping and then we end it. You missed it. I think he said, I think you are far left. I am. Why did they not put Gavin up there? Like, I don't understand. He would win straight up. I did this for the valuetainment. I didn't even know the valuetainment guy was going to be there. I just knew that Jank was going to be there. And I was like, uncle nephew time. You know what I mean? It felt like I was back on the Young Turks for a moment. Holy fuck, this already has 1 million views.
Better.
Jesus Christ. When a 10-year-old is only thinking he won, it's time to step down. Do we really want to California the whole country? See, they're already saying it. People talking mad shit about you in the comments? Not really. This is my favorite type of chatter. Who's just like, they're not. They're not at all. But like, you know, I'm just going to say it anyway. Dude, I could smell Jank's nephew through the screen and my nose ran around the other side of my face. Yeah. They are if you sort by newest. Yeah, I wonder who's in the fucking chat. They are if I sort by newest. Who's the toddler at the end? Oh, they're talking about Harry. Dude in the red is so high off coke, Lamau. Piers Morgan losing all credibility, having morons like Hasan on. Hard skip. Huh. Yang gang, baby. Bring him back. Translate to English.